what is involved in energy healing for terminal illnesses. So you will notice in every video when I'm describing, myself as a bioenergy healer and specializing in critical care recovery and terminal illnesses. So what exactly when it comes to energy healing, because you don't very often hear energy healers specializing in terminal illnesses and critical care recovery, right? So this involves certain things, and I'm going to discuss this in this video today. For those of you who like the contents of my videos, don't forget to like and subscribe, to my channel. That's going to greatly help my channel to be able to reach out to more people. And one extra optional extra favor, if I could ask you, um, drop a comment and share it with just one other person or one of your social media channels. I would very highly appreciate that. But bottom line, thank you very much just for listening to my videos, and I really appreciate it, and thank you from the bottom of my heart. Um, for those who don't know me, I'm a bioenergy healer on master level with telepathic healing capabilities, specializing in critical care recovery and terminal illnesses, amongst a host of other physiological, psychological, and even spiritual ailments. I have an amazing offer, uh, 10-minute anxiety fix in just 10 minutes, uh, less than for $5, less than the price of a Starbucks coffee, right? Delivered to you telepathically anywhere globally instantly, and pay only after you are satisfied. So to get my contact information for this, visit my website, yogawellness786.com, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. And I'm also specialized in advanced level yoga and meditation. Uh, Having practicing this art form for almost 50 years and teaching for 44 years. In that time, I've been studying under various masters from different schools of thought, from different cultures from across the globe, right? And I basically took the best of all the worlds and created my own unique protocols, making them faster, quicker, better, more time efficient, and results oriented. Basically, adapting them for the 21st century, taking the ancient sciences and they're adapting to the 21st century, and including scientific, aspects, foundation aspects behind everything, right? Not delving too deeply in things that are not scientific, right? So to that end, I now have students in over 100 countries. And my favorite protocol is the 5-minute yoga and meditation program, which you can download for free by visiting my website, yogawellness786.com, in exchange for subscribing to my blog, and where you can also get more information about my services. Also, remember that my therapies are all natural based and not a replacement for medical treatment. So, yes, I'm going to be talking about what's involved in energy healing of terminal illnesses, but this presupposes that you are taking medical treatment as the foundation. This is non negotiable. I haven't attempted to heal someone who's not under medical treatment, unless, of course, they had no option or availability of medical treatment from whichever part of the world that they are in. But I never had that experience. Everyone had access to even free medications, especially when they are terminally ill, right? And treatments. I didn't come across someone who don't have that yet, right? So I do understand there are parts of the world that does not have it. So what's involved when it comes to energy healing of terminal illnesses, and what's involved in it? So let's go, for example, in critical care recovery, energy healing of critical. Someone is in intensive care unit. They've been through a major accident, and the operations are done, and they are now attached to all tubes. They don't know, whether the person is going to survive or not survive, and they're no longer responding to medications. Now it's, the doctors say, inform your family, because the medications are not, the person is not responding to the medication, and the vitals are declining, right? The markers, the vital markers are all declining. So we don't expect the person to stay alive much longer. This is when I am engaged. Why am I engaged at this stage and not immediately when they went to the operating theater? Is because people don't believe in energy healing, right? This is the biggest problem. As much as say, okay, yes, yes, but they're not like intrinsically, they'll believe medical science. But yeah, if you engage both, you're going to have, why wait for the last minute? It's going to improve your chances dramatically. are not reaching that level of no return, right? So now I'm going usually in the point of no return. Regular energy healers not going to take this chance because it's very draining, on especially if you're going to be giving of your own energy telepathically, because you can't go there, physically. You will not be allowed as a healer to go into the intensive care unit, right? Because they're trying to keep the environment sterile as well, and they're not going to bring, usually in many hospitals, and usually the person's life is on the line, and you are far away. By the time you're going to reach the person, maybe you're going to lose time, and maybe you're in another country, right? So for me, I'm getting requests from all over the globe because people locally are not prepared to risk what is involved to saving their life. Because what's the risk is because I'm transferring my own life force energy. So I'm building my life force energy or the Kundalini energy, which is the same as your own life force energy. You're building it, and the nature is the same. It's not. I am not Kundalini, and people who say they are God, I don't accept that, right? Maybe they are right, maybe they are, but I don't accept that. And I can't be Kundalini, and I can't be the whole creator of the whole. Me and God are not one. I am not one with God, right? I do not eventually realize that I don't believe in that philosophy. Yes, I mean, respectfully, the Buddhist culture believe that people evolve to that level where they become God man, right? I do not believe at any stage I would ever become that. I always am an individual soul, equivalent to the lowest among everyone. There's the lowest person in terms of spiritual power, financial power, social power. Is I'm not superior to that person. They're still a soul, and I'm a soul. There's that person is. I will pray next to him, shoulder to shoulder. That is what my faith says, right? And we are on equal footing. We're not superior like that, right? So I believe so. But this energy is very strong, and to save a person's life, it's like your whole life has to go in, to save it. Depends on how critically ill you are. The risk of me dying in such a type of healing session is very high. So now the decades are passing, right? um, in me assisting people, I consider myself lucky just to be alive, right? Yes, when I did critical care recovery about 2.5 years ago, after that, I did three patients at the same time. I'm not supposed to do more than one because one is life threatening. And the second one came, I didn't have the heart to say no while I just started the first one. And the third one also came at the same time. And I didn't have the heart to say no. I said, no, if I die from this, like now I'm guaranteeing my death, right? At least I died saving, at least one life. Maybe I don't save all the life, but how to say no? I'm able to save a life. I just couldn't bring myself to say no at that time. But on hindsight, I must not do things like that, right? I must not risk my life, on that level. I must do a calculated risk, right? And not do too many people at the same time, right? Especially with a critical care recovery. But after that session of three people, I lost my eyesight permanently. So yes, there's no guaranteed way, medical reason that came and said because I'm energy healing, I lost my eyesight. I went for medical treatment to the best medical treatment center that I could find, specializing in eye care. The entire hospital specialized, and I was put under the supervision of the head of the hospital. The person, he was the dean of the ophthalmology department in the university. It was a university training hospital as well. So a lot of young students who's got the latest knowledge on the field of ophthalmology. I was exposed to not just some ophthalmologist who's practicing for a long time and his knowledge is outdated, right? So I had the latest, youngest people and the professor, and we did every test plus 8 operations and everything, even genetic tests that maybe because I'm coming originally from Africa, that I have maybe sickle cell, anemia or something. Nothing. They found nothing, right? Every battery of tests. So the only white elephant in the room is um, the energy healing, right? Or perhaps the COVID vaccine, right? Because it was after taking the COVID vaccine as well that the deterioration started. But can I say really? Because I was fine for a long time. It only started to I'm experiencing the deterioration after that healing session of 3 people, right? So, and I'm permanently blind since May 2023, right? And it was during about May 2022, when I did the 3 session, May, June, around that period, for the 3 people in a row. And then it started to decrease, decline. And I thought I would try to fix it, but I was prepared to lose my life. I was never depressed that I lost my eyesight. It was a risk I was prepared to take. I'm still alive. I still got my life and I can heal more people. I'm today creating the videos as a blind person. It took me, a challenge about 3 years trying to find a way how to create videos. And I've been wanting to create videos for a very long time, and I was unable to do it. For one reason or another, I was either very busy before that, and then after that, after I lost my eyesight, difficulty in finding people to assist, and then the people like assisted me for a very short time, not long term, and then they left, after a few weeks, and starting and stopping, starting and stopping, and then eventually found a way. And you'll find all my videos are just created with my camera. I'm doing it alone, right? No one helping me, and they're not edited, no AI involved, very unprofessional, no studio, no special lighting, nothing, right? And I'm creating because I'm creating for the content, because I don't want that. Because anytime I may receive a terminal illness call, to help someone, and it may be my last healing session, right? And not going to say no. A few days ago, I had a very serious case, and I got quite sick from it as well, right? And I knew I will get better, and I just do some meditation practice. I'm not fully better as well, right? Now it's like 3, 4 days later, not fully better, but somewhat, I would say 99% better. This is what's involved, in energy healing of terminal illnesses, right? And critical care recovery, which needs a lot of this thing. Yes, I try to combine with natural methods, with dietary protocols. If they take, certain things, going to help them. But my experience, people are not prepared to change the diet, right? Very difficult. Very fraction of a percentage will adopt the healthy habits, that is important for them for life to be together. And I did have one patient in 44 years, or not 40, 49 years of healing, because I'm doing from 8 years old, right? 49 years of healing. One patient who took my advice, and of course she wants to be healthy. Who doesn't want to? She was on the death point. Skin and bones like a skeleton, right? The last stages of AIDS, just before death, where you were unrecognizable as a human anymore, right? I took her back and she's normal, and she follows my protocol to this day. And she's a young lady, 30-year-old lady, right? And she is the only one that took the protocol and, following it and, reaping. But most people don't want to. So it's left totally to my energy only, you know, to be able to assist. And there was a stage where, when I was losing my eyesight, a very close friend of mine, he had terminal illness, that I used to enjoy long conversations with. Normally, our conversations were 2 to 3 hours, normally. And it's like that. And he was philosophically minded, and he could understand, and he used to give back, his opinions, and understood what I was saying. It's very hard to find, for me to find people on that level. And we had an established relationship, I would say, for over 30 years, right? I was instrumental in many major changes in his life. I was instrumental in, his in getting married. And when he went through a stage after like about 10 years of marriage or so, and it was on the rocks, and he was about almost losing his marriage, I went and advised him, and it turned his marriage around, right? Advice. So those guys or ladies that having problem, there's some simple thing that you can do, very simple thing. You can contact me privately. I can't tell that on the, public YouTube channel. And till his dying day, he was there. But I said, look, I am losing my eyesight now, and I want to use my energy to fix it. And whenever I believe I lost it because of that, he was under a private medical treatment, right? So just follow with that, and I'm unable to offer you, much. I gave him one or two, but I felt my energy decreasing, and maybe I was still not yet lost my eyesight, right? and was busy still losing it, and the medical treatments were not working. So I said I must combine my treatment together with the, and my energy treatment also was not working. And I want to combine both together with the medical treatment. And I didn't want to treat a terminal illness at that point. And sadly, he passed away, right? And I regret not, I could have saved his life perhaps. And, but that's what's involved with energy healing of terminal illness. You have to accept that you're going to lose your own life. And this is the risk when you're doing it fully and passionately. That some people got some non-risk way to assist, where they act as a channel to an energy source and not using their own energy, risking their own energy, and do it that way. But the success rate is not like mine, right? My success rate is extremely high, right? And I'm saving the life, and I'm constantly passionate about increasing my energy on a daily basis. So in order to remain alive and to be able to specialize in critical care recovery and terminal illnesses involves me doing practices on a daily basis in meditation, breath work, energy practices, and so for 10 hours per day, right? 10 hours per day is what I can't do 10 hours every day, but that's what I need to do, and very often I'm able to do. Sometimes I'm so busy I have to cut down certain things, but the core of it, I'm sticking to, and on a regular basis, every 2 weeks, my energy is increasing. For the past 6 years, I say I went up 703 increments. So the 703rd increment I reached, I think it was yesterday, right? Yesterday I reached that. Every 2 weeks, I reach the next increment higher, right? 703 levels of being able to um, interact with this massive energy that's within everyone, the life force, that's the cosmic energy, the Kundalini energy, um, and develop my capacity to withstand a higher level in my body is up to 703. So I'm trying to train my body to be able to handle higher and higher and higher levels, to be able to stay in tune, to be able to help people, and it involves great sacrifice. Physiologically, I'm on a very special diet. I can't eat normal food if I want to remain on this level to be able to treat terminal illnesses. I'm eating mainly raw foods, mainly, right? 99% is raw foods, hardly any cooked foods, no, all plant based, right? Whole foods, no, hardly ever preserved. So now, because my energy level is quite high, I'm able to experiment into, cooked foods is not detrimentally affecting my progress because, I'm able to overcome. But for the longest time, mainly fruits and nuts, and not salted nuts and roasted nuts, raw nuts, right? So like peanuts were cheaper because I didn't have large cash flow at that time. Bought peanuts in bulk, like 10 kg at a time, and just having handfuls of that. So I have my protein and my healthy fats as my energy source, and consuming lettuce and consuming, spinach and broccoli and cabbage raw, right? And flax seeds raw, right? And having oranges and apples and bananas, fruit. That's it. That was my food for many years. Now, recently, I'm on occasion treating myself to, going into like non-vegan stuff, into like pizza, or maybe have some milk on occasion, or maybe have some sugar, and a biscuit, now and then. I'm experimenting with it now and then, but it's not good for me, right? Sugar is bad news, for energy healers, physiology, because my physiology needs to be able to withstand higher and higher levels of energy to be able to treat these terminal illnesses. That's what's involved. And there's so much of time involved in this and commitment to this that I don't have time for relationships as well. I prioritize my healing of a terminal ill person over a relationship, right? Because I'm saving a life. So when I'm called, it's like a doctor who's married and in the middle of his honeymoon, he's the only doctor in the area. There's a phone call in the middle of the heat of his honeymoon, right? In the most intimate moment, he has to say, "Sorry, baby, I will continue when I come back." And he goes, called to the hospital, and like an 18-hour procedure later, he's dead tired. He comes and collapses, and and his new bride is just hanging, left his new bride hanging, And this happens day in, day out, day in, day out, right? People make sacrifices like that for their career and so forth. It's unfair on your partner. Don't be in a relationship if your partner is not going to accept that type of thing. And then also you need to create some balance as well, if possible. Wherever you get a chance, you have to have an understanding partner. But everyone's theoretically understanding, but when it comes to the nuts and bolts of it, it doesn't work out. Is it surprising someone in my field so passionate about my business, my energy healing, and that I prioritize this above everything else and able to now offer terminal illnesses, specialize in terminal illnesses. But is it surprising that I'm divorced 6 times, right? There's a lot of sacrifices involved. Is it surprising that now I'm permanently blind and I don't have anyone to help me? I want to go to the shopping mall. So hard to find someone just to help me to go there, because the Uber will leave me in the street in a dangerous city, and he doesn't care he wouldn't even tell me which direction to walk in, right? It happens sometimes, and I have to cross the street. It could be a very busy street, and if I don't find someone to help me to cross it, I'm finding strangers. That's how I'm surviving. I'm finding strangers to help me in public places, you know, and very hard for me to find someone. So is it surprising I don't have relationships because I'm focusing on this to be able to help people, this thing. So this is I've lost also sacrifices socially, personally, in terms of my relationship, and also dedication and discipline involves something, and the type of nutrition that's involved, and a risk to my life on top of that, right? So this is what's involved in specializing in treating energy healing of terminal illnesses. Hope that information helps you. Take care of yourself always.